after a little hiatus.
Just a little bit, not too much.
You know, I already know what number to call this one. We had that little time travel incident a while back.
Things like when it happened.
Shit got really fucking crazy. I don't even know what to call this one. But I know what we're going to call it. It's polygamy.
Yeah.
But as far as number-wise, because
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk a lot about the Mormon Church on this show, and they're investing in polygamy. You know,
Yeah,
it's a big
the whole
deal.
gist that goes along with that.
Right. But, you know, I haven't been able to podcast with you for a minute because I attended the Bone Thugs and Harmony concert.
Yeah. How was that?
A couple weeks ago. Well, let me tell you something. Don't take too much satisfaction when I tell you this. But our producer, C-Dub, was kind of on me that not all of the Bone Thugs would show up.
I said you had a good chance because it was at least like the second or third date of the tour.
Well, that's their thing. That's their thing, and that's the big. They don't ever. They've been having contracts. Go ahead and tell your thing, but I have a contract story I've heard about them.
Really? About Bone Thugs and Harmony? Okay. Well, he kept pressing the issue, our producer, C-Dub, that not all of them would be there. And I didn't want to hear it. I was like, hey, trust me. All Bone Thugs are going to be there. Every single member. Wouldn't you fucking know it? Lazy Bone does no shows.
Of course.
No shows.
He's one of the names, too.
So what's this contract thing?
So I've heard, no names included in this, but from some promoter who have booked Bone Thugs and Harmony, in the contract that he assigned for the performances, the guy was like, yeah, all five are going to show up. The guy's like, no fucking way.
Really?
I want in the contract that says all five of them are going to show up. If I don't get all five, you don't get paid the full guarantee because I'm paying you a guarantee for all five. When you know it, all five did not show up, only four of them. So therefore, they had to renegotiate the contract and deduct the amount that the other guy wasn't there because he advertised all five. So, you know.
Throw me a number. What would it be deducted?
I remember it was something like $1,000 or $2,000 a guy.
For Bone Thugs and Harmony, you know, depending on the area and the fucking day of the week. But I'm saying, okay, Saturday night in Cincinnati, they probably got out somewhere between probably like $10,000. So I'm saying minus 2,000.
So you deduct about 2,000 per member.
Minus per member.
Would one member cost more than another? Say if like Flesh and Bone isn't there.
At this point in time in their career, I don't think people really will.
You don't think so?
Well, how big was their tour bus? Was it a huge?
You know what? I don't think they even came in a tour bus. They had a van for their merch.
Okay.
And
SUVs and shit.
I'm pretty sure they just drove rented SUVs. Okay.
That's how ICP was. ICP show SUV
for rap
getting out doing the show out.
Yeah, just really don't need gear.
Why you need a bus?
Well, I just wondered if they had a huge bus. That tells you how much they're charging.
No, it was definitely a economical type show. But you know, it was a little disappointing that happened. You know.
They have an opening.
More so that C-Dub kept telling me about it, and like it wasn't really.
Well, I told you about the mic incident too. About somebody getting hit by a mic.
The mic incident?
Wasn't it?
I don't think you told me this.
Remember, I messaged you about the one guy. He threw a mic out and hit somebody, and Bone was getting sued because they hit somebody with a microphone.
Really?
Yeah.
I know some can't play in certain areas because they have like warrants or whatever in that area for them, so they don't play certain areas too.
I remember being at a Bad Brains concert back in the day where HR threw the mic stand out to the crowd and racked some kid in the cranium.
Oh, and shit happened, like the whole that Lamb of God thing, and you know, where the kid, they said the guy pushed him off stage. He was cleared everything, but it was like a huge ordeal because the kid passed away. You know?
But was the concert good, even with the?
Yeah, it was. You know, I listen to music that I can relate to. You know,
did they have anything? Was it just them?
What's that?
Was there any other?
They had.
Didn't you say the opening? You're telling me like the opening act, people were like hollering, "Get off stage!"
Yeah, it was just some like local DJ just fucking around.
Some Malibu's Most Wanted shit or something.
It was pretty bad. It's just, you know. But anyway, this kind of leads us all the way back to Mormonism. You know? Bone Thugs to Mormonism.
Yeah.
Like, what's give me. I don't claim to be a brain expert. You know, I know a lot of shit, but I don't think I know the full. Like
the full.
What's the magical underwear about? That's
just one part. But I mean.
Because that's the most.
And I don't. At this point in time, I don't want to get down with anyone. If your belief is your belief, if you want to believe fucking flying monkey 3-headed thing is your thing that gets you through life to be a better person, that's great. That's your thing. So with this whole conversation, we talk about more. I don't want to get down on anyone's religion, but there's certain points of it. I gotta be like, okay, what the fuck?
Joseph Smith in particular sounds to me like a worker.
Yeah.
In the wrestling term, he would be termed a worker. where he's making up a bunch of shit on plates that no one else can see.
Basically, the big discussion with Joseph Smith is he a prophet of God or divinely or or something like that? Mm-hmm. Can he hear God? Which a lot of people might argue that fact right there.
Now, from what I understand, the angel Moroni, it's something like that. I'm not quite sure on the spelling of that, but delivered the message to him from God.
Yes.
And told him where to find golden plates.
Yeah.
That gave the main tenets of Mormonism.
Yeah.
Is that right?
He basically, Joseph Smith was told by an angel or a god or, but that where these plates were and that he could only see them.
Uh-huh.
And when other people asked to see him, he was like, "Oh, well, the shit's broke." Oh, by the way, I'm the only one who can see this.
Right.
So it really became a thing of belief. Like, you really had to believe this.
Yeah, you really had to stretch a lot of parameters to really believe everything he was saying.
Yeah, because there wasn't really any physical... There wasn't like, say Christianity, where it's like, Jesus, where, that Jesus exists, now, whatever, But at least it was like a physical thing, supposedly.
Well, Jesus in this time was supposed to at least perform miracles. At least there's actual, at least in his writings, he produced something to his people,
So did Joseph Smith come up with anything besides the plates that no one else could see?
No, just through, spreading, the word of the plates and, stories like the Native American, believing basically, the Mississippi was in a sense like the Nile, in a sense like the Middle Eastern. Like I said, I compare his thing with America with a lot of things like Israel and that being where Mary went and Jesus was born and the lost tribes of Israelite and stuff like that. Like Joseph believes some of the Native Americans were, tribes of Israelite, basically.
Interesting. I have this, I can't remember the name, but it's a book by an author named Peter Lavinia, and a lot of occult roots that kind of became lost in Mormonism. He talks about that. Joseph Smith would use something called a divining rod. You basically they were treasure hunters in that era. And it kind of goes along with his story of I found these magical plates, they use something they called a divining rod to just sort out treasure.
Find water with
yeah.
I mean, a lot of it also, the Mormon Church is also, which is also called a Latter-day Saints. It's the same thing.
So it's a division of the Mormon Church.
They aren't really too upfront with their beliefs and their religions and their practices. It's kind of one of those things you gotta be in it to kind of know some of the stuff that goes on with it. Pre-World War II, no one really knew anything about the Mormon religion because you really had to kind of be in the society to learn anything about it. Yeah. So up to, like I said, pre-World War II, no one really knew it if they were an outsider religion.
Right. And it's probably something we'll get into on another show, but kind of with Scientology, no one really knew a lot about it until the internet came along.
Yeah.
All these websites, the most famous one is Xenu.net, which told the story of OT level 3 in Scientology that no one believed for years and years. And now recently the Going Clear special on HBO came out, putting public fact, all these strange stories of Scientology that no one really believed. It was on the internet in the early days of the internet by ex-Scientologists,
Oh, and that's that could be a whole show itself right there talking about Scientology. Like I said, me and you talked a little bit before about it, and it's definitely, say, your belief is your belief. Whatever gets you fucking through the day, and you try to be a better person, whatever, man. But there's some weird shit going on there, too.
Scientology, definitely gotta say, it's a cult of celebrity.
I mean, even the guy who invented it said fucking... I quote it, he didn't invent it or bring it to light. He even, quote, said that one of the best ways to make money is to make your own religion.
This was L. Ron Hubbard, a science fiction writer.
Dynamics.
And he wrote it was a self-help book called Dianetics that was basically a cloaked science fiction story. And the famous quote from him was he was a pulp writer in those days and wrote a lot of space stories and science fiction and get paid a penny a word. And his famous quote was we're wasting our time just writing for a penny a word. If I really want to be a millionaire, I'll start a religion.
Yeah.
Which is what he did.
I remember as a kid in the 80s and stuff, seeing commercials for the book. Was that the one with the volcano?
The volcano. Yeah. Which is funny because that goes back to Scientology, where he's supposed to go to that, and the volcano explodes and his ashes go everywhere. Yeah. And
this is OT operating. They call it. I've read a lot of Scientology books. Actually, a faction.
Even disagree or agree with it, it's fucking crazy shit to read about.
And it just shows like the power of belief when people really want to believe something.
Yeah.
And the gimmick with Scientology is you pay money to reach through the levels.
Yeah.
And what you talked about with the volcano story, that's operating Thetan level 3. And you reach the 3rd level, and that's when, like, supposedly you're ready to learn the truth of the universe.
And by me asking, how much does it cost to reach level 3?
I'm not quite clear. Maybe our producer can look that up while we're talking. But it's by level 3, you've invested a significant portion of
reaching level 3. Would you say, even through your reading of the religion of that, and me, what I understand of it, you have to make some of a financial investment upon greater enlightenment.
Just from the very beginning, the gimmick that they kind of rope you in with is called the free personality test.
Yeah,
and you don't really know what Scientology is about.
Yeah.
Then. And they give you the personality test and say, oh, you have a lot of, no matter the results of it, they're going to say, you need a lot of help with this.
Yeah,
we have Scientology here, we can help you. You know, and they offer courses, but everyone you're paying to move up the ladder. And I believe the highest ranking Scientologist is Tom Cruise. You can probably guess. He's reached like level 7.
Which is one of the things that brought Scientology kind of the brighter lights is the celebrities who are entangled or in beliefs of the Scientology thing. You know?
And there was something called, Ron Hubbard came with this before he died, and it was Operation Clambake. And what it meant was, it was basically a missive with Scientology to target celebrities.
Yeah.
Because if celebrities join, you know, impressionable young people would say, you know, if I like John Travolta, you know, if I like him, I want to join Scientology because he thinks it's cool. So it was planned like a missive to target celebrities to rope them into Scientology.
Yeah,
and
it worked. It was. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen the building in L.A. Like I've personally been past it several times.
Right.
It's a cool looking building. It's all fucking glass. You know, it makes you want to, like, you really don't know what it is until you start walking in and things start getting said or seen. You're like, oh, because I've walked into it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there too long. I was like, oh, this is weird.
Take me with you. You just like burst the doors open and you're like, hey.
No, you gotta be careful. You gotta kind of look like respectable a little bit because there's security all around the fucking place. You know. So luckily, I was there with certain people who were quote unquote celebrity or music things or this and that. So we got to like mingle around a little bit because that was their whole gimmick. So you want to see something fucking crazy, crazy LA shit. I'm like, of course. I'm like, yeah,
crazy LA shit.
And so I'm sorry, that's exactly how I got described to me. You know, go in there and it is. I didn't get into like taking the personality test because that was like this
So once you take the personality test, like you're roped in. They will not let you
go. That's when you take information.
Is that where you're holding the 2 electro things?
That comes later.
Comes later?
Okay. And that is called an emu.
That's where they check like your personal connection with, because this involves lizards living amongst us too, correct?
What?
Is that part?
Well, that's not necessarily a part of Scientology, but the Xenu thing. When you reach OT level 3, and they tell you the legend of Xenu, is that people that died long ago their souls are called Thetans, and they have negative things from their past. It's kind of convoluted, very convoluted actually. But negative things from their past lives are still attached to that soul flying around. And supposedly a Thetan soul comes into you with all its negative past lives that affects you, and basically Scientology is to clear you of Thetans.
Yeah.
When you reach OT level 3, you've almost gotten rid of all of them, and as you go up higher, and if you paid enough money, you become Thetan free.
I got some prices.
What's that?
Okay, now what I'm looking at, a couple different things I've looked at.
This is to gain higher levels in Scientology.
It's kind of weird. Like you were saying, like they have things called life repair, purification, RD, grade 0 through 4.
Not to cut you off, but there's one that if you try to leave Scientology, it's like the ultimate sin. And they have a term called life ruin. And they'll send like lawyers after you. They'll ruin your life any way you can. Like, you don't leave Scientology. The life ruin is like a hit out on you if you choose to leave.
Like, you're blacklisted.
Yeah. And you're declared something called a suppressive person. And if your family is still in Scientology, you're like off the list. Like,
you're like
you can't talk to them.
outcasted.
Yeah. If you're deemed a suppressive person, like, cut
That's
off.
it.
Yeah.
Well, most kind of like cult or like groups of, I don't want to say cult, but groups of people that they'll do that. They cut you off from everybody. That's how they can get control of you. They control you by cutting you off from people who give a shit about you. You know?
Right.
Okay, on this, basically, life repair is you're looking at about 30 hours, and you're looking at about total cost about $11,000, but costs or intensive or course $5,000. So it looks like it's about, actually it comes out to about $9,000. Now, it says to reach an OT, the top OT level, which is I'm not sure, because there's different OT levels, but an OT 9, from you walk in the door and you want to be an OT 9, which is one of the higher levels, but it looks like actually it may be about the highest level. OT 9 is you're looking about $300,000.
$300,000.
Damn.
Wow. For a lot of books I've read on it, you can just basically you can pay more and immediately go to like level.
Yeah, you just come.
And it looks like you can pay because it looks like almost like a really expensive college because you pay per hour credit and like.
Which is just going to their church.
And I mean, when I was pricing colleges years ago, like that's a really good private school somewhere, you know. I mean, $300,000. I'll look up what the tuition is to Harvard, but you know,
like, have you seen that movie Bowfinger with Eddie Murphy?
No.
It's very similar to because they implement like some Scientology type thing in it, and it's very comedic. And it seems like, is this shit really true? And you read more into it, you're like, holy fuck, they didn't have to write any of this.
When did this movie come out?
Oh,
late 90s, 2000s.
Yeah. Huh. It's Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Tremendous.
Doesn't it have the dog in high heels?
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you.
I remember that.
Yeah. The main thing is,
it was a dog with high heels.
Dog with high heels.
And that also, like, through so many movie stars being like high-ranking Scientologists. Like, I think there's a recent movie that Will Smith did where it basically tells the story of Scientology.
Yeah.
It's just kind of vague. It kind of like in a different metaphor.
And every time they ask him about it, he just kind of like,
And didn't the woman who was in King of Queens like have a falling out with Scientology where she tried to leave and they try to keep her
I'm not sure, but that sounds like that's what happens.
Yeah.
If you try to leave, you're pressured to return. Or it's like they'll declare you a suppressive person and like your life is fucked. Like they do anything they can to
I mean, but like we were talking, that's just weird thing. And if that's your gig, man, that's your fucking gig. But there's some weird shit going on. Like, we skipped on, but didn't we have some weird shit with the Mormons?
Yeah, we were talking about.
I mean, I knew a few because like the magic underwear I knew about. You pay for that before you get
garments.
Okay, before we get into it,
underwear.
Before we get into it, tell us about the garments because I think that's one of the.
Once you're a member of the church and all that, blah blah blah, and to get buried and basically for your soul will be, I guess, more pure or more easy to accept into heaven. Which, you know, more religion, like there's 3 different types of heavens.
Yeah.
You have to be buried in these garments / underwear, and they're pretty expensive garments.
So how? Give me a price figure. Like how much?
Anything, depends on the nicest one. Anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000.
So are you talking? Is it more like wearing a nightgown thing, or is it like a long johns?
No, like underwear, or for women, it's like I guess a top and a bottom.
Okay.
And how much did you say?
Anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000.
Because I've never paid more than like $8 for a pair of jeans.
Well, this is
but they last your whole
You're going
life.
eternity. It's guaranteed to go through eternity.
Well, that's what they tell you.
But I mean, that's what they're paying for. They're not paying for the cloth. They're paying for what happened to that cloth that was made.
It's more of the belief of what it's going to do for you than the actual actual.
I mean,
cloth.
yeah, in church I just drank grape juice and ate wheat crackers, but
it was meant to represent something else.
Yeah.
But that's what we had on this list that we found on the internet, which is some of this is like. It's a lot of stuff.
Magical.
It's magic. It's very magical.
And when I was doing research, everybody else who had facts or anything or information seemed to come from these people.
This is the comprehensive list.
Yeah. And the more it is it's a very you have to be in that belief to know some of this shit. And once maybe you have a little disbelief with the church for your own personal reasons or whatever, you're kind of an outcast also.
Yeah. And that's like some of this. It seems so unbelievable because, of, like you said, it's never really anything that's put outside of the church.
Yeah,
just like Scientology, like they have their own words for things, and like it just doesn't get outside of that circle.
When you say religion nowadays, people are saying Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, and Hindu, Islamic. You know, but there's so fucking many. There's so many religions. Things of belief. You know?
This list was 101 non-public or weird beliefs of Mormons. Let me tell you, some of these are pretty weird.
Well, weird. Yeah.
I scanned it before the show, and
you got this look down.
Some of these, I'm going to throw out some.
All right,
I'm going to do.
I didn't read this list.
No,
at
Gary
all.
and I we were doing this pre-production.
We're going to do this true or false style, and I wrote a few extra ones in here that are false, and I'm going to have you tell me true or false. Did this really happen?
All right.
On Mormon beliefs. Okay, I'll start off with some kind of softball ones. You know, easy. And you tell me. Coffee and tea are prohibited, even though
I already know this one.
Even though they aren't specifically referenced by doctrine. True or false?
You can drink them.
You can drink?
No, you cannot drink.
You cannot drink. You are correct.
Yeah.
So that's considered like a drug in the Mormon.
Yeah, because even alcohol there is weird. Like you can have alcohol, like if it's like a brewery, the alcohol content in your drink is higher. Otherwise, if you go to a regular place or a beer or anything like that, it's going to be lower content. It's like 2%.
If that, like milk.
Yeah.
2% milk.
Yeah,
half and half.
You know, low fat.
Get skin.
Right.
Yeah. Whole. Low sin, more sin. I want more sin in my beer.
More sin, please.
Yes.
This is one you talked about. Missouri was a focus of Mormon faith. True or false? The Garden of Eden was in Missouri when Adam and Eve were kicked out.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yes.
So because Joseph Smith lived in Missouri?
Well,
he believes it was.
I believe it's a Mormon religion too. It's the Earth is 7,000 years.
Come on, man.
Like that's how long the Earth's been around.
Come on.
I told you dinosaurs.
Real alien talk.
Dinosaurs were magically fucking put here. Dinosaur bones caught the
That's another thing.
belief.
Dinosaurs were. That's actually here.
That's where you get me. I'm sorry. Any belief you're like no dinosaur. I'm sorry. I'm done. I can't.
You check out.
Yeah, I can't.
Because you see the bones.
I just can't accept it.
I've seen the bones.
I mean, if someone's like, listen, tell me. Here's a question to get in heaven. Do dinosaurs exist? Dinosaurs existed.
Were they like neon green and pink? Like
I'm sure certain areas.
You think so?
I mean,
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Come on.
You don't think there was?
Come on, this is really alien talk.
I mean, come on, dude.
You get like the little rubber
like
toys,
a lizard and shit.
They're like vacuum cleaners and shit. And like,
I'm not talking about all T-Rex. There's little tiny lizards the fucking size of a toe
that were pink.
I'm sure.
There's no way.
There's pink lizards now. The fuck? Where do you live? Come on. Look on National Geographic Channel every once in a while. You will see a fucking
Google pink lizards.
Yeah.
I'm saying like the neon colors.
Dude, lizards are one of those fucking animals where they lean on, turn to the color.
Chameleon.
Yeah.
Chameleon.
Because they have
so the chameleon doesn't stay pink. It's not still pink.
You change to that fucking color or have it on there. What are you talking about?
There's a club they belong to.
Yeah. I mean, what? Come on.
I'm just saying on the little toys, like, where they're all like erasers and they're like neon green.
Yeah.
Brontosaurus.
Like and shit.
And like an orange pterodactyl.
Yeah.
I don't think they were really those colors. They were probably like more.
I think it could be
more like earth-based, more earth tones. You know what I mean? Brown.
During the time, I think they're all.
Okay.
That's pretty neon pink.
Okay,
lizard.
well, I do see.
That's not a sexual term. They're actually pink lizards.
If you're following with us at home, you can just go to Google and type in
pink lizard,
lizard, and you'll see some pink lizards. I stand corrected. But I'm saying
That's a neon too.
An actual dinosaur would not be pink.
Yeah, those just aren't descendants of fucking dinosaurs.
That's birds, actually.
That's half the proof why they existed.
But you're telling me a T-Rex had like chameleon?
Oh, maybe on its belly or in its mouth.
Had like chameleon where it touched something pink. And
No,
it turned pink.
no.
That's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me.
We only hope. I hope.
Let's go to fucking whacked out suggestion number 23.
All right, back to Mormonism before we got.
We've got a whole special why dinosaurs existed.
Okay, tell me. that will be an episode.
I would fucking literally.
That's gonna take a while.
That's such the most ridiculous fucking thing. We're like dinosaurs exist. Are you fucking stupid? Like you cannot be that dumb.
Well, it's kind of a dividing point for a lot of religions. Like in the Bible, people say that they were like, well, it kind of throws their religion into jeopardy.
Well, then you have to question: did it involve or no?
Yeah, because it throws a wrench into what you've wanted to believe. That's why. But back to the Mormon list. Let's see.
There was blue dinosaurs too.
Were there really?
Yeah, probably.
There had to be. I hope so. Okay, what about this? Satan can't read your thoughts, so praying silently can help keep some of your secrets from him.
That's true.
That's true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, man.
In Mormonism, that's
true.
Well,
I explained this earlier in pre-production. Yeah. Satan is like, what, 10,000 years old, so his hearing has to
So his hearing's gone out by then? So, if you think God's everywhere and hears everything, like Satan does too?
Why couldn't he?
So
he comes from the same.
Apparently, let's
so it's two sides of the same coin, right? So he's listening in, and God's listening. At all times to everything you say.
Apparently,
I don't think they need to hear 90%.
Why would you want to hear 90% of it?
Just tune out.
93% of everything someone says every day has to be told shit. Right. So why would you want to hear it?
Like if you have a kid, and they're kids are hyperactive. Just talk about it. Do you need to hear all that?
And I would
that's how God would look to
Wouldn't you think God would want to hear the bad stuff to help those people, and the devil would want to hear the good stuff to convert those people? Like it'd be reversed.
What about like the old, the old church lady that would pray for stuff that's not really important? Like, hey, can you watch over? I don't know. Something you really don't need to pray about. Can you help make sure my car is... Can we get a new pool?
Or the sports please help me win this game. It's a fucking game.
Is that
really that?
Like, what's the pecking order on the prayer list? Like, what's the most important? Maybe a family member and like.
We'll find out someday. I guess.
Or can we get a new pool? Like, does that make the prayer list? Like, I don't know.
If there is a guy, I'm gonna be from like a stand-up, like a Dangerfield fucking comedy. Like, oh, is this okay? Did I do this? Were you allowed to do this? I don't know.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a Jehovah's Witness come to your door?
Oh yeah.
You have?
Oh, totally.
So, this, I don't know. Maybe it's just where I happen to live. Like, this never really come up.
No, I see.
Or I haven't. I'm really the most social person, so they might have knocked and I just didn't answer.
Yeah.
But do you just invite them in and like?
Well, I mean, we won't go too deep into it, but I have been in a household of Mormons, so I have,
I think we referenced this on episode 1, the Lost episode. I married an Ecuadorian.
Yeah.
So it's probably part of that scenario,
I have spent a lot of time in the city of Salt Lake City, in the state of Utah. Mm-hmm. In one of the best, most beautiful places in the world, Springdale, Utah, Zion Garden. Mm-hmm. Great, beautiful place.
So the Jehovah's Witness, like, take me there. What's it? What do they try and do?
It's a missionary to spread the word of Latter-day Saints. Okay. Usually have to
they come in with Dianetics and they're...
That's Scientology.
Huh? No.
Then they have white shirts and ties.
They have the name tag.
Dianetics isn't the book they're trying to give to you?
No, it's like the fucking... The
Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
See if you're paying attention. I know. Just making sure you're paying attention.
Yeah. No wings. No, they have to do it like for a year or 3 years.
Yeah, you have to do missionary. You have to do missionary.
Yeah,
really. Mm-hmm. So you can't get out of it, like.
No, you really don't want to get it. It's like like your fucking bar mitzvah of your fucking.
But you can go to like Rwanda, or you can go to New Jersey.
Yeah, or you can go to the ghetto of fucking Dayton.
Yeah,
man. In Rwanda, how do you think they'd respond to knocking on their door?
Depends what they're doing. If they're actually doing something for the village, probably all right. Otherwise, they're probably like.
So
fucking guys
they're handing you the Book of Mormon.
pamphlets, and a lot of
the Watchtower.
The Watchtower, and the pamphlet. The one time I got a pamphlet, I looked at it, was like kids rolling around with fucking pandas and shit. Yeah, I'm telling you.
I don't know what it is about where I live, but I get a lot of church people trying to get you to come to their church. So I get everything from Methodists, Baptists, to Jehovah's.
So it's like a competition between all
yeah,
of
and
them
some have like barbecues to
to
try to get you in, or they'll have like inflatable toys for the kids, or like
a free personality.
Yeah,
free personality.
But the Jehovah's Witness always it's this thing called the Watchtower, which I think is like their little.
It's like their monthly.
Their magazine.
Yeah. In-house magazine.
I mean, at least they know.
Okay, now let me tell you this: if a missionary comes into your house, and say you like piss them off, like you're mean to them, okay, they can curse you by dusting their feet off as a witness to someone rejecting their gospel. If you were really disrespectful, you're like,
I heard you guys talking about
if
that.
you like ripped up the Watchtower and said,
it's probably true.
And they dusted their feet.
It's probably something fucking weird. So probably
like that's their curse. So you're fucked if they
like
dust
your curse like on you or cursing at you in like a verbal term.
I think they're putting a curse on you.
I think it's an actual curse, like unshakable,
like ooga banga ooga,
something like that, like unshakable. Like if you've disrespected them to that level, then they'll put that curse on you and you're fucked. Okay, man, true or false? Now, tell me what you think on this one. Cremation will make being resurrected harder, having to recollect all your atoms and your molecules from wherever they are spread.
Probably because sometimes they try some Native American shit, and a lot of Native American believed you had to have all your stuff together, and the more it was spread up or not as congealed together, it was harder to get to heaven. So I would say yes.
So if you're being resurrected, what is your body that you used to have?
I don't know.
Why do you need all of it?
Even a lot of Native American beliefs, like I said.
What if you were like an amputee and you didn't have all your body? Then like, you can't go to the next life. Like, do not pass go.
I don't know.
Fuck.
Apparently not.
There's several religions that believe you have to be a whole body.
You have to be a whole body. Yeah.
Right. Interesting. Okay, true or false? Lizard people will throw you in a volcano if you can't be a Mormon.
That's gotta be false, because they don't believe in the lizard people.
Huh? How do you know?
Huh?
Like, have you read deep down into like the?
No, I haven't read that. I didn't want to get there.
You didn't make it to that point.
Talk about the dinosaurs. When I get the dinosaurs, I'm like, fuck it. They're done with me.
Do you believe the lizard people are like came from the dinosaurs? Is
that
like
the only lizard people you can probably even get me slightly believe is the whole extraterrestrial lizard people. That's about it. With the greys and all that shit, that's the only lizard people I'm buying besides dinosaurs.
So you don't think they could have been on Earth the entire time?
Who?
The lizard people.
I don't.
What about the underground? You don't believe from underground?
Yeah, I think they could have they could have retreated to underground after the dinosaur wars.
After there's dinosaur wars.
Yeah, you don't
the
remember
great fucking T-Rex battle of fucking
in year 19
billion.
In year 99, the dinosaur wars. You never heard of this?
They had a cartoon. Was that historically correct? A cartoon of that?
What was it?
Dinosaur Wars.
Dinosaur
There
Wars?
was a cartoon called Dinosaur Wars.
I remember.
Maybe you're thinking like.
I remember Wacky Races.
Wait, was that historically correct then? Was Flintstones fucking how it went out?
Flintstones was, come on, they were slightly historically
There were some liberties with Flintstones.
They did take a little liberties.
Especially when the Great Gazoo turned out. I'm like, come on.
And they had the Martian. That was getting a little...
Yeah, the Great Gazoo.
Yeah.
Like, he went back from time to go back to Flintstones.
So the ancient ones did have...
Why wouldn't he go to...
UFO help then.
Why wouldn't he go to Jetson's time?
He didn't one point.
Why would he go back to when primitive times?
I thought he did.
Gazoo? Yeah, he did actually. They
Yeah,
had a crossover. That's when they first met.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how it worked. We got the cue to take this home in 10 minutes. So we got to get to some more of this list. Because this is like, there's a lot of crazy...
There's 100 of them, and I had to just keep reading the list.
Yeah. Let me throw out some that are, kind of minor. You maybe throw some thoughts in here. Role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons are also evil.
Oh, easily. Because a lot of religions believe Halloween's fucking...
Well, a lot of Christian religions.
Come on, man. That's really...
Did you ever play any D&D?
Oh, yeah. Fucking
What's your character's name?
Yeah, is it a troll?
I have it in my wallet.
Hold on. Get it out of your wallet and show it. Please. I gotta see this. You have a list in... What?
That's the name of the character.
Okay, this is live on the show, and I'm gonna read... Frost Barbarian?
No, yeah, that's the character, but that's his name.
Cause of death?
Yeah.
Why'd you name him Cause of Death?
Because he kills everybody. He causes death. What? Doesn't name tell you why?
This is real.
You seem surprised by that. I don't know why.
There's many people on tour buses. I'm telling you, I've actually seen fist fights on tour buses for people killing.
This is one of the dirty secrets of the rock and roll industry.
Yeah, this is
D&D is very
if
big
you're in the
amongst
industry,
touring
you
bands.
have this on you.
So it's a bunch of nerds on the tour bus playing D&D.
Yeah.
I mean, are you? Come on.
This is real. This is live on the air. He produced a list out of his wallet.
Yeah, I told
of
you.
his
I was
character.
like, oh no, this is new.
And let me give you some of these stats for this character.
That's pretty badass character.
Cause of death. His stats are HP 89.
Hit points.
That's the hit points.
Yeah.
That's like your health meter.
Yeah, which
right?
is really high. Like he can take some good hits.
Yeah. So what's his armor class like with that?
I didn't see this. His armor class.
Any question I ask you about this, you already have it.
With dexterity 17, charisma's 12. But a funny story is one time me and my one buddies were doing this on tour, and we started a different dungeon, and me and him were like characters in it. And I swear, dude, within like 3 days we had like within the dungeon world set up like a brothel and a bar and shit. It was pretty funny.
I never knew you were a D&D guy.
It's only on tour because you get bored, so you just do it when you're on tour.
This is what happens on tour?
Yeah, this is behind the scenes.
So your character, does he wear like a tunic? Or like, what's his armor class? Is it like a full-on
it's
suit of
plus
armor?
2. It's a plus 2 like furs. It's like a fur thing.
What is wrong with Vin? What the fuck?
He says alignment is chaotic neutral. His language is...
show-
Do you need to pause this?
This show has completely gone off the rails. I didn't think you would actually have a list of
This
your...
language is Frost Barbarian and Common.
This is why we don't plan anything ahead of time on this show, because I never know what you're going to pull out of your wallet and just have...
How
talk
old?
about.
Look at the paper and tell me how old it is.
Yeah, I've seen you've had this since 1992. In your wallet, wadded up. Okay. His language
Yeah.
is Frost Barbarian.
Mhm.
It's common.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go in the next town over, they're going to speak.
It's a common language. I can speak to Frost Barbarian, other barbarians and shit.
Other Frost, so you're cool. If you meet another Frost Barbarian,
Yeah.
you can like plan a raid.
I can talk to him in our secret language.
So can you go to hot spots though?
Yeah, he's not like he's made out of ice.
He's
just,
a Viking.
He just came from the frost.
He's
area.
like a Viking of sorts.
So
okay.
he can survive in warmer climates.
Yes.
You're saying. Okay. Let me hit you with his alignment. What does this mean? Chaotic neutral.
Yes.
Okay, that's like good or bad. So
Yeah, it's like they
in the
have
middle?
like chaotic, which is like he can do berserker, but it's like neutral. That means he can choose to be good or bad.
So he's like a tweener.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, okay. His weapons. Okay, this is what I really want to focus on.
I got a lot of weapons.
He has a double battle axe plus 3.
Mm-hmm.
So the damage is like
Oh,
up 3.
yeah,
like,
you can fuck someone up with that.
fuck. 2 throwing hammers.
Mm-hmm.
A longbow.
Yeah.
You might have to help me out with this one. 2 plus
Magical arrows.
magical arrows.
Yeah.
Wow. If you just take a longbow, that's one thing. But if you have magical arrows,
Yeah, man.
like fuck. So like if someone's running, they can't get away from them.
Or if they're magical themselves, having some type of protection thing. See?
Wow. Unfucking believable. We've reached a new high on
You know
this,
who
on this
invented
program.
D&D? Do you know the guy's name?
Gary Gygax.
There you go.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, I'll tell you a true story. Like I always wanted to play D&D because it was like right up my alley. but like there was no one. I lived out in the woods, so there's no one to play with.
Well, see,
not in the woods, but there's no one.
Alone in the cabin.
We'll see on tour if you got like a couple bands together, you're gonna have like 8 or 9 guys. So
yeah. But younger, I was like D&D. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
I couldn't get anyone to.
It takes time. That's why we'd be in the van for like 6-7 hours.
But I did play a lot of Nintendo games, like Dragon Warrior.
Yeah,
that was a really cool game. Another one that was a wizard that I can't quite remember.
Alf Boggs.
You remember Alf, right?
Oh yeah,
he's back in Boggs.
I've heard about him a few times.
We actually had a very special episode on Alf. One of our highest rated episodes.
You know what? Alf believed in fucking dinosaurs, I'll tell you that.
So what led to the end of his planet, Melmac?
What? Oh, they fucking blew it up somehow by accident.
Kind of like Superman?
They plugged in too many things.
They did. It was no, they had society was built on crazy indulgence, over-consuming. So they over-consumed, overindulged, and created...
Fuck, of course. Ate too many cats.
Yeah. Blew up on Al's birthday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fuck. What a bummer, man.
This sucks.
We got to get back to this.
That candle out.
We got to get back to the D&D list because I can't believe he pulled out the Dungeons and Dragons.
That's like one of the best barbarian names you could ever have. COD, Cause of Death.
I used to have a band called COD.
Really?
No, not really. It sounds like an awesome death metal band.
Yeah.
Though, right? Berserker mode.
Yeah.
When he goes into Berserker mode, Cause of Death, he can jump 20 feet.
Mm-hmm. So I can go over a wall.
How do you get to a point where you get these stats? Like, how does it happen?
Oh, just killing and gaining and completing missions and stuff like that.
What does this say here? Open doors?
Yeah, open doors. I have a 30% chance of opening unlocked doors.
That's just like real life.
Yeah, man. No, actually, you know what? This past Wednesday, they couldn't get into the door because the office was locked. And I was like, I'll get in like 3 seconds. And of course, like, okay, and I start opening it. Like, boom,
so
Pacific 2 seconds. Boom, we got it open in like 3 seconds.
Really? So you're like an expert at that.
That was only a 30% chance.
Yeah.
So, like, the other 6 times you
don't see the other times it doesn't work. You just see it one time it does work. I'm still baffled. Like, this is an actual D&D list. Surprise, 50%.
Yeah.
So that's like a surprise
The
attack.
surprise attack.
Very important when you're playing D&D. Sporting with animals? Talking with animals? What is this?
Yeah, speaking with animals. I can only...
10%.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen you with your dog.
At least I can do it.
I mean, it's minimal communication, but it's 10%. That's better than nothing.
Yeah. Just buy extra weapons.
We're coming up on time, unfortunately. This has been a really great episode. This has been one of our best.
Have you found out more about me right now?
I really have. I never thought you would pull this out of your wallet and just have it ready to go. So every time you play a game, you're like, hold on.
Yeah, I'm like,
you have to get this out.
And that's why he's such a good character, because I'm one of the few people who actually have it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got a character. Hang on.
So you put some work into this.
Yeah.
Like, do other people just start a new one each time?
Because they get killed or whatever.
But you're like, no. Cause of Death is my guy. That's
what
I'm doing. So, hold on. I'm still trying to figure this out. Like, do you choose like a certain guy from the? What's the main?
When you
book?
start,
you can be like an elf,
yeah,
or a wizard.
What's
the main book you need is like the
Dungeon Master's Guide.
And does it show like what cause of death?
It helps you create. Like? Yeah, you decide on a character, and then you roll a dice to design your character.
But each book's like a different story.
Yeah, but I like we usually like to play the older editions because they're more of like this OG shit. And you don't just fucking
the original.
Stuff. Yeah,
if you're gonna play D&D, you go.
This
back
like
to
War of Warcraft. Fuck you. This is fucking D&D.
Like when did Gary Gygax start it? Like 70s,
80s, maybe 70s. I don't know.
It was like
he's dead now too.
Yeah, he died pretty recently.
Yeah,
that's kind of sad, man. Mm-hmm. But what does Cause of Death look like? Just a frost giant?
Just frost. I mean,
just picture a frost giant.
Yeah,
that's him.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got 1 minute.
1 minute. This has been an amazing show, man. Thank you for bringing that list.
Oh, no problem.
We'll pick up the Mormon list another time because we got way off track. But
maybe the Cause of Death will be our belief now.
Right.
Because Cause of Death fucking believes on dinosaurs.
Maybe we'll have him on the show.
Yeah.
Fuck. Ludus this Friday. SG1 out.
Yep.
Peace.